In 1950, a physicist sat in front of a radio microphone, and he said a number, a precise number, the exact amount of bombs needed to wipe out all life on planet Earth. He didn't do it to threaten anyone. He did it to terrify everyone. That physicist was Leo Szilard. He had already helped create the atomic bomb, and now he was describing something much, much worse. Szilard was a Hungarian physicist who emigrated to America. He was the one in 1939 who convinced Einstein to sign the letter to Roosevelt, the letter that kick-started the Manhattan Project. The atomic bomb was partly his fault too, and he knew it. For the rest of his life, he carried that weight. But in 1950, he wasn't trying to build a weapon. He was trying to show the world the edge of the abyss. And the ingredient for his apocalypse wasn't plutonium. It wasn't uranium. It was something incredibly ordinary. Cobalt, atomic number 27, a silvery gray metal you find in your phone's rechargeable batteries, in the blue pigments of ceramics, in the vitamin B12 your body uses to make red blood cells. You touch it every day without knowing. But there's a detail, one detail that changes everything. When a fast neutron, the kind released in a thermonuclear explosion, hits an atom of cobalt-59, something very specific happens. The atom absorbs the neutron. It captures it, like a trap snapping shut. And in that instant, cobalt-59 becomes cobalt-60. The same element, the same number of protons, but with one extra neutron. And that extra neutron is the difference between a harmless metal and the most efficient poison physics can conceive. Szilard's idea was chillingly simple. Take a hydrogen bomb, the kind powered by thermonuclear fusion. Wrap it in a shell of cobalt-59, a common metal, cheap. When the bomb explodes, the fusion neutrons bombard the shell, and hundreds of tons of harmless cobalt transform in a millionth of a second into hundreds of tons of cobalt-60. The perfect poison for an entire planet. But why perfect? Because there's a number that makes this isotope unique among all the elements on the periodic table. 5.27 years. Remember this number. It's the half-life of cobalt-60. It means that every 5 years and 3 months, half of the radioactive atoms have burned out. But the other half is still there, still active, still lethal. Sounds like just a random number, right? It's not. It is probably the most dangerous number on the periodic table. And the reason is a paradox that will send shivers down your spine. Think about iodine-131, an 8-day half-life. Dangerous, yes, but in a few weeks it's almost entirely gone. You lock yourself in a bunker, you wait, and you survive. Now think about uranium-238. 4.5 billion years. Radioactive, sure, but it decays so slowly that the radiation is weak. Manageable. Cobalt-60 sits right in the middle, long enough that you can't just wait it out in a bunker, short enough to be intensely lethal. It's in the death zone, and there's nothing you can do to speed up its decay. When a cobalt-60 atom decays, it fires 2 gamma rays, one at 1.17 megaelectron volts, the other at 1.33. They are among the most penetrating forms of radiation in existence. They pass through clothes like they aren't even there. They pass through skin. They pass through a 1-meter wall of reinforced concrete. There's no armor, no practical shelter, no shield that can stop them. It's like trying to stop the wind with a fishing net. Those gamma rays enter your cells and strike the DNA molecules. They don't burn them. They do something worse. They shatter them. Imagine a spiral staircase made of crystal. Perfect, elegant, millions of steps linked together. Now imagine someone hitting it with an invisible hammer in 20 different places, simultaneously. The staircase shatters, and the cell no longer knows how to repair itself. At 4 to 5 grays of absorbed dose, death arrives in a few weeks from acute radiation syndrome. But that's just what happens to one person. What happens to a planet is even worse. A normal atomic bomb destroys a city, 2 cities, 10. But the destruction is local. You can flee, you get in a car and run. With cobalt-60, that doesn't work. The explosion pulverizes it into microscopic particles and blasts it into the upper atmosphere. The jet streams catch it. In a few weeks, the radioactive dust circles the entire globe. It mixes with the rain. It falls on crops. on water reservoirs, on forests, on oceans, on every single square meter of the Earth's surface, everywhere. There is nowhere to go. Stop for a second. Think about what you just heard. A weapon that poisons the entire planet, that leaves no shelter, that kills for years after detonation. And now ask yourself, why has no one ever built it? The technology is trivial. Any nuclear-armed nation could do it. Cobalt is cheap. The reaction is well known. The math is public. Szilard broadcast it on the radio. So why? The answer is the most absurd paradox in military history. Think about every war ever fought in history. What's the goal? Conquering territory, resources, power. But if you poison the territory with Cobalt-60, that territory becomes uninhabitable for at least 10 years. The water is contaminated. The soil is contaminated. You can't send soldiers. You can't build bases. You can't grow food. You've won nothing. You've conquered a graveyard the size of Earth. You can't negotiate with corpses. It's a weapon that destroys the one who fires it too. But someone thought about it anyway. The doctrine is called MAD, mutually assured destruction. It works like this. I don't attack you because if I do, you destroy me. And you don't attack me because if you do, I destroy you. Equilibrium, symmetrical terror. For decades, the world hung by this thread. The Cobalt bomb takes this logic to its ultimate conclusion. It's no longer, I destroy you and you destroy me. It's, I destroy everything, you, me, and everything that has ever existed. It is cosmic suicide as a defense strategy. And someone actually put this madness on screen in a film that still gives you chills today. In 1964, Stanley Kubrick made Dr. Strangelove. In the movie, the Soviet Union builds a Doomsday Machine, an automated device connected to Cobalt bombs. If the Soviet Union is attacked with nuclear weapons, the device triggers itself. No one can deactivate it. No one can stop it. It detonates and kills the whole planet. Friends, foes, neutrals, everyone. Kubrick was inspired directly by Szilard, and the paradox he showed on film wasn't sci-fi, it was pure logic. And here's the devastating twist in Kubrick's film. The device only works as a deterrent if the enemy knows it exists. But the Soviets hadn't announced it yet. They were waiting for the right moment for propaganda. And in the meantime, a rogue American general goes insane and orders a nuclear strike on his own, without authorization, without logic. The strike hits the Soviet Union. The machine triggers. The end of the world. Nobody wanted to press the button, but someone pressed it anyway, out of madness, by mistake, because of a system flaw no one had foreseen. And this isn't just cinema. This is the real problem with the Cobalt bomb. Wait, don't think Kubrick's film is an exaggeration. In 1983, a Soviet officer named Stanislav Petrov received an alarm. The satellite detection system said 5 American nuclear missiles were inbound for the Soviet Union. The protocol said, respond immediately with a nuclear counterstrike. Petrov had less than 5 minutes to decide. He decided it was a glitch. He was right. It was the sun reflecting off the clouds that had tricked the satellite. A reflection. The world was saved because one man disobeyed orders. Let's go back to the Cobalt bomb. Today, 9 nations possess nuclear weapons. None have declared having a Cobalt bomb. But listen closely. Cobalt is a metal you can buy on the open market. The hydrogen bomb already exists. The neutron capture reaction is in college textbooks. Building this weapon isn't an engineering problem. It isn't a resource problem. It isn't a knowledge problem. It is a problem of choice, of decision. In a world that produces 150,000 tons of cobalt a year for electric car batteries is sitting on a mountain of ingredients. Do you understand what this means? The only thing separating the world from extinction is not a concrete wall. It's not an international treaty, not a missile shield, not some secret technology. It's something infinitely more fragile. It's the rationality of those with the power to build it. We trust that no leader in any country, during any moment of crisis, on any sleepless night, in any fit of paranoia, will ever think it's worth it. But human rationality has limits. It has cracks. Kubrick knew it. Petrov proved it. Szilard predicted it. Szilard didn't publish those calculations to show off. He wasn't a madman. He was the exact opposite. He was the same man who, in 1939, realized before anyone else that nuclear fission could become a weapon. He was right back then. And in 1950, 11 years later, he was telling the world, "Look at where we're heading. If we keep up this race, the logical conclusion isn't someone's victory. It's the end of everyone." He wasn't making a prediction. He was issuing a warning. And the world listened. So far, 400 tons. That number is still out there. Szilard calculated that with 400 tons of Cobalt 60 dispersed into the atmosphere, ground-level gamma radiation would exceed the lethal dose on every square meter of the Earth's surface. Every field, every forest, every ocean, every city. 400 tons. Sounds like a lot. The world produces 150,000 tons of cobalt every year. For your electric car batteries, for your phones. 400 tons is less than 3 days of global mining output. Less than 3 days. To wipe life from the face of the Earth. Let me paint you a picture. Year 0, detonation. The Cobalt 60 rises into the atmosphere. Month 1, the jet streams distributed across the northern hemisphere. Month 3, it reaches the southern hemisphere. Month 6, global coverage. The radioactive dust is everywhere. It falls with the rain. It settles on the ground. It enters the food chain. Year 1, outdoor radiation levels exceed the lethal dose. You can't go outside. Year 5, still too high. Year 10, levels start to drop. Maybe, if you're still alive, if your shelter held up, if you still have food, if you haven't gone insane in the dark. The most terrifying weapon ever conceived by humanity has never been built. It has never been tested. It has never been launched. It exists only as an idea, as math on a piece of paper, as words spoken into a microphone in 1950. But ideas can't be uninvented. Math can't be forgotten. And Cobalt 59 hasn't stopped existing. The weapon nobody ever built is the most democratic weapon in history, because anyone could build it, at any moment, with materials you can buy, following instructions that are public. The only thing keeping it locked in an imaginary box is a decision. Human, fragile, revocable. Right now somewhere, in a mine in the Congo or Australia, someone is extracting cobalt from the rock. They'll pack it. They'll ship it. They'll put it in the battery of your next phone. They'll use it for chemotherapy to save someone's life, a gray, insignificant metal. That sits just one neutron away from the end of the world. We exist in this equilibrium every day, every night, between the cure and extinction, the same atom, the same physics, the same reaction. The only difference is the intention of whoever uses it. The only thing protecting us isn't science. It isn't technology. It isn't a wall. It's a choice. The choice not to do it. Every day, every time. By every person who has the power. And this choice so far has held. 5.27 years at a time. Rationality is a dam, but dams can break. This is Unseenium, where we make the invisible architecture of reality visible. Subscribe to keep exploring the incredible architecture of reality.